Hey, what's up, everybody? Juan Martinez, a.k.a. Dr. Love.
And I'm Stephanie Martinez-Reyes.
And you've just joined us on This Is Real. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into This Is Real, show with real people, real problems, real solutions with yours truly, a.k.a. Dr. Love, Juan Martinez, a.k.a. Dr. Love, and
Stephanie Martinez-Reyes.
So, hey, man, excited to be on the show. Man, I seen they loved, like, I think it was called Yo.
This Is Real
Raps. Yo.
Yeah.
Yo, we should probably do a little commercial, just really like put it out there and just become the video people. Because there was a lot of people that watched those videos.
Yeah, there was. I mean, we did it 2 weeks in a row because it was so popular. And we got such great response.
Yeah, it was dope.
It was going to be a reaction video. Which,
what happened?
Yeah. Well, it did so well that we're like, well, let's give the people what they want.
Oh my God. So I think we're in the, we're gonna give you the same show, but I think we're gonna tweak it a little bit, to kind of make it, I think we're on to something. And so let me tell you something. I'm excited for a couple of reasons. It was your birthday.
Yes, it was.
It was your birthday. Woo-hoo. That's super dope. And
32.
32. I was waiting because some people are like,
care.
you don't ask a woman. You don't do this.
No. I'm not like that.
You're like 32, and I'm aging well.
32.
32. Yep. That's dope. That's dope. But when do you feel like that when you hear somebody go, oh, 25, and you're like, oh, I remember.
Yeah, no, accurate. Especially
I just felt
the 20s.
like that right
I'm
now.
like, oh, yeah, no, I remember. I thought I knew everything at 22.
Yeah, I just felt like that because mine, I turned 53.
Oh, nice.
3 days
Come on,
after.
53.
53. But it's a good year. Like when you really sit back to think, I mean, listen, y'all who are incarcerated understand this fully. When you're not incarcerated anymore, you haven't been incarcerated in a long time, it just feels good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
cool.
To sit there and just, you ever reflect like where you came from?
Yes.
Because every now and then, I got to guard my heart from like making stupid decisions, right? Not that anybody else goes through that.
Never.
Or sometimes you're like, you remember we did the thing with where you pet the little tiger and then it turns into a big tiger and then it eats you, And so we pet sin like that sometimes because we think it's not a big deal. It's just a little tiny tiger. Okay, so if you don't check your heart, you don't really see if you're doing that. Then it's usually too late because nobody gets up in the morning and goes, I'm going to go get high today, or it's a gradual thing. Whatever you actually fall to, it's been gradually happening already in your heart, little by little by little by little by little by little. And then boom, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but somebody needed that. And so I feel like, well, I think when I was gone,
yeah, because time goes by, right? So
totally
we're reflecting on 53 and
Yes. So in that reflection of time and checking your heart and all that, because, I just don't want to wind up again doing something, I have grace for my brothers, mercy and all that. And I just see a lot of people go through a lot of things. And that kind of keeps me like, because I don't want to. I don't know.
Yep. That's the whole goal. And your book released.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Woo!
Man, this is the week. This is the week. I think I've been saying this for a while. I need everybody to go get it. They put me in a more difficult category, I think, this time.
Why?
Because in Amazon, if you pick, Amazon, you can pick a certain category, and there's not a lot of people in that category. Then you move up quick.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, they threw me in there with like, it's like I just started playing baseball and I got all these giants, and I'm like, how am I gonna move up? But thank you. I seen all these posts of people congratulating yesterday. So thank you. It
released yesterday?
It released.
Wow.
It released August 6th.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, why didn't we capitalize on the fact that it's my birthday? Too?
Yeah.
No.
It's
okay, 6th.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I didn't want to make the birthday. Hey, you're like, hey, do
that.
this.
Thank you.
I mean, the other years we were like at Love Wins and all that stuff, but this year we gave you a break.
That was awesome.
Give you a break. So the book came out. Thank you. Big shout out. Even Z, like you saw, he made the little video. I thought that was super dope. So go get the book. Go tell your family members to buy a book. It's still not too late. It's actually out now. I know we got two different kind of people, right? Because sometimes I go in a store and I'm like, hey, do you have this? And they're like, yeah, we could order for you, send it to your house. And then I go like, I say, oh, nah, I want to buy it and I don't want to take it
Yeah.
now. So I get there's those kind of people
Yeah,
because I'm
you're
like
that
that in the store. I'm that guy at the
guy.
store.
You are that
So,
guy.
so now it released. So you don't have to like wait or just order it today. Go tell your family to go
Yeah.
buy it
A
today.
lot of people on Amazon are just getting it the next day, so it's like
Yeah. So get it the
super
next
quick.
day. And I think it's good. And listen, I've been telling everybody this because I see people get excited. I saw one guy, he put a post, I had shared it, and he was like, man, it's so good that, it was supposed to be a 21-day devotional, but I just started reading through it.
Mm.
And so that's cool, but don't do
Yeah, I've
that.
seen people do that. I'm like, stop. It's
Don't do
supposed
that.
to
Don't
take
do that.
21 days for a reason.
Yes. The goal of the book is to get you to know him. Maybe you knew him and you got too busy. Maybe you're still too busy because I asked somebody, hey, and well, yeah, I did one. I'm like, man, you're still too busy to do a 21-day. Think about what you're saying. I'm like, sit down, read it, answer the questions, allow the prayer prompt to prompt you to pray that prayer and maybe keep praying a little, and then stop to actually listen to what God is saying to you according to that chapter, and then meditate on that scripture. It says meditate on the word day and night, and you'll be successful in all you do. We think that if we just read without meditating, you're going to be successful. No, you just have a lot of
Yep.
head knowledge, right? And if you can remember stuff, you remember it. But meditate. What is this saying to you? Get everything. If you do it in the morning, you could actually get everything out of it the whole entire day. What?
Yep.
I guarantee if you do that first day, second day, third day, fourth day, all the way to, and then do the 2 bonus chapters, and then actually apply those bonus chapters,
Powerful. Yep.
2025, you're already starting it now. You don't have to wait because everybody's waiting. We'll
That's
wait
good.
for January, last quarter, let's end strong. Yeah, just end strong because that's how you're going to begin the year, right? What you do today
Yep.
is going to impact your tomorrow. If you're upset of the things that you have today, guess what? You didn't do something yesterday.
Yeah.
That's really what that means. You're like, oh, I hate my life right now. It's like, well, because the last couple of years you didn't do anything, And I think that's important
Very.
if you're gonna break free.
Yep.
Do
So
it the way it tells you, right?
get your copy, guys. Tell your friends. Tell your family. And do it together.
Yeah. Hey, what's the
Do it
Lord?
with a few people.
What's the Lord been putting in your heart? Because I saw, while I was gone, you was teaching over here. I saw you in little, the graphic. They do the guy. I go, oh, I felt like a proud dad. I go, oh, look, she made it to the graphic. Once you make it to the graphic with
What?
the quote, the graphic with the quote, when somebody
Yeah,
talks,
that's funny.
I go, there she is. Graphic with the quote.
Yeah, we were just talking about community, and just how people think that it's a choice to they feel like it's an option to opt out of God's family, but that's not how it works. God adopts us into His family, so that means you have to care about your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your cellmate, whoever, right? All
It's
the
really
people
good.
who have accepted Him
Oh, I'm
in
gonna
their
talk about
heart.
something else today. Go
Then
ahead, keep going.
accepted Him in their heart. Then that's who we're supposed to encourage. That's who we're supposed to fellowship with. That's who we're supposed to, look out for, carry the burden of sin, all of those things.
That is good stuff.
Thanks.
Man, you preached it. You preached it.
I'm
But you
reading my points in my mind. I'm like, what
hey,
were the points?
you kind of got a little bit into my message for Sunday
Oh,
because I'm
nice.
talking about picking your crew, right?
Yeah.
And I obviously I think something that maybe I might not be good at a lot of things, but I think I'm good at you know getting to know Jesus and really stopping to actually check my heart. And I'm okay with going, oh, this is jacked up one, back up a little, back up a little, So I don't, I go, oh my God, it's a tiger, I'm not, no pet it no more. But I've been thinking lately, just Jesus's, maybe I'm going into Sundays, but anyway, I've been thinking, okay, so let me give you two
Yeah, hit me.
thoughts. And then I just want to hear your thought on it, okay? Because a lot of times, we were going to talk today about basically Numbers 13 and 14. We were going to cover Romans 6, which is kind of what we talked about last Sunday, but I wanted to just talk about it. But right now we got into this conversation of relationships. And I think a lot of times what happens is that we get so busy, right? We get so busy that we, first of all, we're not praying the way we should pray, right? Because my opening verse for Sunday is where Jesus prayed all night I need you to really catch this. He
Mm-hmm.
prays all night to pick 12 people. And I don't think we take time to do that.
Yeah.
And he had to actually stop. You ever think like how important that must have been? Because
Mm-hmm.
he could have did like a Lord who, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got direct line to the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
to God, right? And he could say, okay, these are, or he could just use his supernatural power.
Yeah.
But in his
Human
natural,
state.
he shows us how important relationships is because he
Mm-hmm.
spends all night to pick them.
Mm-hmm. We didn't even spend a day. You spend like
Oh
30
no,
seconds. You're like, oh, this person sat next to me here. So now we're going to be, do everything together.
dude, we.
Or that dude hit me up. So now he's the one that I'm going to give all my time
Ooh.
to.
I wanted to scream Lion King. Oh, na mañana, ni mama. Like, yes. We don't. So think about that. That's just picking your crew based on purpose, based on building the kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
based on just relationships, right? And then he walks with them for 3 years, and then he sends them out. We don't do that. We don't do that. What we do is we send them out, and then we go, hey, if you get in trouble, call me.
Yeah.
Right? Or when we're gonna pick, since you went there, you did go there to this whole relationship thing. When a person, we pick based on personality and packaging. Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
And then we wind up how we got in trouble.
Then you complain about the ingredients later when you didn't even read the packaging.
Like all the way. I think maybe that's the first all sound effects.
Wow.
I'm just saying, yeah. I think we this is our problem. And here's the thing, because I totally get it, because I fall prey to that sometimes, right? We live this life, and the world is moving rapid. I mean, it's rolling, and for some reason, hey, if we're not with it, if you're not going, then you'll
Yeah.
get left behind. But I always say nice guy finish last, but it's because they're running a different race.
Mm-hmm.
I remember always telling people, I go, I'm running a different race, but then you somehow wind up in the race that you're not really even supposed to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is about quality and impact, right? So here's the thing. Let's say you were discipling somebody, and you're discipling them, but you don't. If you spend time with them, a year, 2, 3 years later, boom, impact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you don't spend time with them because you think, well, this is a lot easier, right? Because
Yeah.
let's be real. Oh, I'm gonna go home, watch Netflix. Okay, just call me if you have a problem. What happens is you still wind up here. You just wind up here all the time because you're constantly on the phone trying to put out a fire because you didn't actually teach them. You didn't
Yeah.
actually raise them up. It's like having a baby, letting them raise themselves, and then coming only when they have problems.
Yeah.
You didn't actually train them or teach them anything. You're actually trying to teach them while the fire is happening.
Yeah.
I know there's a fire. Grab the water. Grab the thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're good. All right. Praise God. Let me pray for you. Okay. Call me again. We don't. And the truth is, I think we're just selfish.
Yeah, I like what you said about quality over quantity, because a lot of times, we fall into that in ministry of just, oh, you met this great person, or this person wants to serve alongside you. And so you send, instead of waiting, building a relationship, and then, sending them out into ministry. And I feel like the ones who take the time, when you take the time to form a relationship before, maybe ordaining someone or sending them into ministry or putting someone as in a leader position or having them entrusted with, a certain thing. I think the relationship first is what leads to the impact later. Because I think without the relationship, the impact later is really like, it could be disaster. It could be disaster, but it also just could be a difference of opinion or whatever, right? Something that could have been just that tiny. You would have found that out if you would have gone to have coffee like 3 times, but you didn't take the time to do it. You find out, 3 years later, we were talking about something yesterday, that person don't even tithe. And you're just like, what? I had no idea. Well, you didn't sit down and ask,
Yeah, all day long, all day long. And I don't know, because it's kind of where I'm at,
Hmm.
right? So right now you're just hearing my heart, my soul. It's about what I'm about to preach. It's me slow. They're just how crazy,
Hmm.
right? Uh, I was hanging out with Don Babin yesterday,
Yeah. Shout out
and
to
he
Don
was like,
Babin.
"Shout out, yeah, he'll be on the show soon. He'll be on the show soon." Because I was like, "You just got to come hang out, Let's talk about something." I like
Yeah.
talking to him. 'Cause
Hmm.
He gets really excited about Jesus, and so he said, there's a difference between studying and getting into the secret place,
Hmm.
and it was like, it's so rich, right? Because I sometimes do that. I know you guys don't.
Hmm.
Sometimes busyness,
Hmm.
I got to get this done, right? And so boom, you read.
Yeah. Or it's to say something, because that's what I used to do sometimes too.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
like,
cuz
oh,
tell the truth, shame the devil.
of like, oh, I have to share, or they're gonna ask me about this, so I have to like have something, like I have to have an answer. So you're
Mm.
studying to have an
Press one's going to
answer,
ask me.
versus way back when.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like we do devotional here at the office,
Yeah.
every morning. So it was like,
Yeah.
oh, let me read because they're gonna ask me to share. But it's like, no,
Yeah,
you
just
just
think about that
read because you read for you,
all day
and then
long.
you share out of what God has revealed to you.
Hey, there was a guy, I don't know who it was, but it's a famous guy. Back in the, not famous, but somebody we know, like Ian Bounds or, you know, one of the greats, Wigglesworth. Somebody said, "Look, I have so much to do today. I have to pray more." And it's like, what? Like we I have so much to do today, so I'm gonna get this in and then I'm gonna leave.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
His thought was that from that prayer life, it takes care of that. Don Bavin,
Yeah.
he reminded me of that. He goes, I just feel, Juan, that when I pray, because let's say you got to go do a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to spend more time with the Lord because you got a lot of things. You got
Mm-hmm.
less things, less, the
Yeah. Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah.
And he goes, I just believe that if I pray,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to make every light green to wherever
Yeah.
he's
Yeah. Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, what a simple yet profound, right? Because in my time with the Lord, I'm in a secret place. Oh, I'm spending that time. Like, I don't have to put out any fire. I don't have to. And I'm just sitting on that balcony. And I was telling you, and I'm looking at the water, and the water was not just water. You get me? Like, this water was talking, man. It wasn't just like, oh, it's hot. It was
Mm-hmm.
like how cool would it be, if I asked somebody, hey, pick somebody you would like to sit with, and they say, well, Elon Musk wants to meet with you for an hour. And we're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God. And you're not going to go just sit and ask Elon Musk for $100,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's be real. Think about it. Like, that's what you would ask him. You got 1 hour. Hey, you got $100? And I know that sounds funny, but that's what we do with God, right? Like we sit with God and we're just like, hey, can you? And it's like, you're sitting with the creator. I need you to just pause for 1 second. You're sitting with the creator of the universe.
You're worried about your bills.
And you're worried about, can I get $100? It's like, there's so many things you could talk to him about.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things you could learn that the $100 will just kind of fall into place.
Yeah.
Because he causes men to give unto your bosom.
Mm-hmm.
He causes
Mm-hmm.
men. He causes men.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this time. And then when I get back, I have to remind myself of that. I know nobody else has to, but I have to remind myself that keep that rhythm, one.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that rhythm. Because instantly you land and it's like, plethora of problems, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I gotta go fix all this. And it's like, no, no, no. Don't start running like
Yeah.
that. Like, run after you've spent time and got direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of the planet's not doing that. Look
Yeah.
at social media. Look at the way you talk to your friends. Did you pray about it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you find words that were seasoned with grace, mercy, and salt,
Mm-hmm.
or did you just give them whatever?
Yeah.
Like, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the problem is because you mentioned ministry, is that in ministry, let's say because we're gonna have we have our meetings and stuff, and we're
Yeah.
like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. the the problem lies in the fact that unless everybody you present what you're going to do and everybody is reading their Bible and they go, oh, that's good because that's Jesus right
Yeah.
there, that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you, in ministry, you go, okay, we're gonna slow down, and that's like a cuss word. You're gonna what? When are we gonna? When are we gonna? When are we gonna? We're not gonna have a. Oh, we're gonna, because they're looking over here. Oh, they had a men's conference. Look, they had a. We're not gonna. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, we're part of this body. We could have all that stuff. Let's stay healthy. Let's slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make sure you're consistent for a year in doing some things. Let's make sure that you're not coming in the morning to a daily devotional at your job
Mm-hmm.
and just winging it.
Mm-hmm.
That's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is you have to wing something that really you should be like, oh, I get to spend. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Who would like that even in a relationship and a marriage? Like the guy
Yeah.
wings it. He doesn't even think nothing. He doesn't. That would suck. But then we do that with God all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't have time. It's like you had time for everything else, but you didn't have time from. He knows everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're trying to build a car and you have time with Elon Musk. And so you want to build a life. And the only perfect person that could build a life, you don't have time for.
Yeah.
But then you complain that your life is not the way it should be. It doesn't even make sense when you talk about it out loud, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. So what do you think? What do you think when it comes to like, why do you think people avoid people? Why do you think people don't have time? Why do you think they're just like, I don't have time? Like, because obviously we talk about it
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody might hear it today and they start, but then all of a sudden they kick on again, right? Why do we kick on again?
I think your perception of people is easier than finding out like the reality of them, because
Mm.
it's easier to get frustrated at that person who's always late versus being like, hey, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? And you find out that, they got all these kids and they're the only one and this and that and all that sorts of stuff. And so, or the person with an anger problem, right? You find out that they've got deeper rooted issues.
Ooh.
And so it's easier to just handle things at a surface level
Yeah.
and not get real than it is to actually get to the depth of why people are operating the way that they are and then walking alongside, right? Because accountability, it takes another person to do that. You can't just be accountable by yourself.
Yeah.
And so in accountability, it's like you the deeper or closer they get to you, then they're also going to see your flaws and your mistakes and the things that you're weak at. And so then whenever you get closer to someone in that relationship level, they're able to see the cracks and the crevices and say,
Yeah.
hey, you're not performing here, or you hurt my feelings there, and I felt like you were rude here. So it's easier just to write people off and dismiss or put on a facade, because I think a lot of times people hide their feelings
Yeah.
and they suppress it, and maybe you feel some sort of way about someone or someone rubbed you the wrong way and you just hold everything in, and then you've got that resentment, that bitterness inside, or your heart hardens and then you no longer feel compassion or mercy for your brothers and sisters around you.
Yeah. And so, I was sitting here thinking, and I had said this, I felt like I said this to the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes, I don't like to make, doing the little videos and I like, and, sometimes, I won't avoid topics if somebody asks me, but, I sometimes just, I don't know, sometimes I just kind of like waiting,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because everybody just jumps.
Yeah.
And
In
so
my
I'm
opinion.
gonna share something
Mm-hmm.
right now, okay? So this is gonna probably ruffle feathers. We might put them all. You're like, what is he gonna share? We want to thank all of our partners who support us. Because of you, This Is Real has a tremendous reach from Houston to Galveston and up to the Austin area.
This show reaches over 100 prisons nationwide with over 500,000 inmates tuning in weekly to hear the good news through our radio show and the Pando app.
To partner with us, visit juanmartinez.tv or download the free Get Rap TV app. I'm going to share something that I haven't really shared because I've been processing. Now I do have relationship, when it comes to like Gateway Church, like now. So now everybody's perked up. I have a relationship. I've been, seeing how it gets handled. I know the ingredients. I know the inside of like conversations, and let me tell you something, it's super good for Gateway Church.
Yeah.
Right, we look at a Pastor Robert. I want to share this because we are talking about relationships and all that, and something that I feel like, so I've been on this thing because I've been practicing listening for a long time now. And so I got to practice twice as hard because I'm a mouthpiece, right? I always tell you that. I
Yeah.
go, so us mouths, We got to practice twice as hard because we got to, okay, I got to listen. I got to care. I got to have compassion. What are they saying,
Yeah.
before saying anything?
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes not saying anything for a mouth and actually going and
Super hard. Yeah.
processing super hard because I got the answer. I read it yesterday.
Yeah.
But let's take that scenario. Now, please hear me. Don't take me out of context. But I am gonna speak into it a little bit right now. I just felt like the Lord
Mm-hmm.
nudged me, so I'm going to. Okay, I see April over there. She's like, whew. Okay. So here's the thing. In the listening part, I've been teaching my wife, washing her in the word, and actually teaching also that, hey, it's not just about what's being said, it's
Mm-hmm.
can you steward what's being said,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I have an issue, I have a problem. I tell you my problem, and you just don't fight with me. You process a little, you steward what's being said because
Mm-hmm.
steward I'm giving you my heart. So it's like, something that we teach is that we teach people how to talk to each other in the
Right.
marriage mediation thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we give them a heart, and they're holding a heart. And the reason they're holding a heart is so they don't remember that the person talking, that's their heart. Like, don't just throw it out the window. Like,
So
you're
they don't
holding it.
forget.
Yeah, you don't forget, right? Which is a good thing. I'm thinking of making little hearts, but you're holding that thing. So I've been thinking about, man, it's not just what's being said. The reason we trust like a David, or you trust me, or I trust, is because we're handling with care. We're just not like, what? How could you be like that? Which is real easy to fall into. Now, let's look at the Pastor Robert. Everybody's upset 35 years ago. Now, he did all this thing with the minor and all that. Now, your initial thought, come on, your initial thought is that, oh my God, it was a little girl, 12 to 16. I get it. Totally get that. Do I think it's right? No.
Right.
Now, they say, well, everybody's upset because, well, he should have said, he did tell people it was adultery. He did tell people it was a young lady. So I get where people are upset, but people are upset because they didn't know the details. Hear me, because I know right now people are like, oh, well, that is disgusting. And da-da-da. Yes, but it was something I would say he repented because he's still with his wife, and he probably went through a whole lot of
Mm-hmm.
things. If not, she would not be there. My acid test, I guess, for me and my humanity is to say, well, she's still with him. Now, here's the part I want to get to. Okay, you say, well, he should have said it. Now, think about the impact God's done through that man on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
His kids, they have Gateway Houston. They have all these campuses. These reach millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
People have been set free. All this stuff happens, right? And we say, well, he should have told us back then. He can't. It's he should, but it sucks that he can't. And let me tell you why. Because everybody's showing that as a believer, we did that interview with, I think it was Alberto,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, man, it's so hard. It's interesting that he is vocal
Yeah.
about, hey, I was with a minor. This was my charge. I forgot how many years, but a ton of years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on fire for the Lord. I'm getting married. So he never, I need you to think about something. So because of that sin, he never gets to live that down. So what you're saying is for the rest of his life, he never gets to live it down. I don't think we're ready. I don't think as Christians we're expecting something that we suck at.
Yeah.
Because if somebody wants to honestly tell you, hey, I struggle with this, or I have a problem with that, what you're saying is now you get to say, well, I mean, did he kill? Oh, well, no, he killed somebody, but he didn't say who he killed. Okay, then, he can't take the pulpit, or he can't do this, or he can't be a pastor. He can't. You're saying that guy who is reaching a ton of guys that are like him,
Mm-hmm.
he shouldn't be able to do that. He can't go, let's say they made him a jail pastor or something. He can't do that because who says what? Like that's the part for me. Hear me, everybody. I'm not saying, oh, okay, the sin, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if no matter who sins, if you repent of that sin, so there's certain sins on the planet though that we're just not gonna. We're not. It's a box. This one's greater than this one. That one's greater
Yeah.
than that one.
Yep.
I think that sucks.
I talk about that all the time because I feel like we think we're better than someone else because we've sinned differently.
Oh, totally. If you're having sex and you're not in marriage, you let me tell you.
Hey, you looked at that woman on your phone.
all day long. You've been watching porn, but you know and that's not cheating. Like it's wild how they all like look just one box and put all the sin in there.
Yeah.
He died when he died. He didn't go, yeah, I died. He talks about blasphemy
Level
as it being the
one, level
unpardonable.
two,
Yeah, level
level
one, level
three,
two.
level three sin.
Yeah.
Like
So something that I feel like, me and Ruthie, we were like, oh, I want a relationship like yours. Okay. Well, we keep practicing having really hard conversations,
mm-hmm.
and as we keep growing, the conversations don't get easier. I started being more transparent, more vulnerable, more open, and she's practicing on hearing, and then vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we are growing,
Yeah.
because at some point we're just this open book, and she knows how I'm feeling when I'm feeling about every area of my life. And some people actually teach against that, like, don't tell your wife that, tell your friend. And I tell my friend, how's he gonna help me though? He's just gonna pray for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need my wife
He's
to
not the one
actually help
involved.
me.
Yeah.
But I also need my wife to actually be able to steward and handle what I'm saying. As much as, let's say she's vocal about something, I got to steward and handle. She's giving me what she's saying, and it might be deep. And I don't go, you're watching, you know what? Not that Ruth is doing this, but, you're watching porn.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like, hey, what got you there?
Yeah.
Man, that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Let me process this. Let me pray with you. How can I help you? How can I come alongside you? We
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
So what we're saying, we're the Robert thing is that basically, because this is the conversation, the context that we're having, and I just thought it was a good to plug that in. We want people to be honest and vulnerable, but if they was to be honest and vulnerable, you just discount them. They're unqualified and they can't do nothing. Not like this, because you have to be like this, and it's like, no.
And it's so funny. It's the people that don't practice that transparency are the
Yes.
ones pointing the finger.
Yes.
Yet the ones who have understand how difficult that is to put out loud the deepest, darkest, secrets and sins and the things that people are going to judge you for, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I think we got to do better at that.
You know what I mean? Like, be there and see what you would handle and how you would handle the sins that you've kept to yourself for years and years and years.
Yeah. I mean, okay, 2 Timothy 2:24-26. I'm going to put it right here on this side so you can see it. But 2 Timothy 2:24-26, look at this. I've been on the scripture. I just taught the scripture in a couple places, and I might be going to your church soon, and you're going to hear me teach this, because I just think it's important. The Lord's servant must not quarrel. Okay. We just lost 90%. Maybe I'm giving a high number, but according to what I see on social media, I'm not telling you to not defend the faith. I'm not telling you that I don't believe in truth. I'm not saying that all sin is not good. Mm-hmm. That's why we need a savior. The gospel, the good news. We need Jesus Christ, who died on the cross, lived the life should have lived, died the death should have died. Our faith is in the Son of God, who died and resurrected on the third day for our what? Sins. Missing the mark. It doesn't matter what it looks like. If you're fornicating, you're just like we give it names like, okay, you're the same.
Yeah.
Your homosexuality, and you're having sin and you're having sex and you're not married.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. I know you don't like it. I know that just slapped you in the face, but the reality is the same thing. Yep. The guy doing heroin and the prideful guy, same thing. It's the same thing.
Hey, you're lying and cheating at work, same thing.
Same thing. Same thing. So we start like, oh, this one, but this one and this one. It's like, no, Jesus died for all the sins. It'd be different if he said he died for these sins, but these sins over here. No, he puts them all in the same thing. Drunkenness, orgies, he puts all that stuff in the same sentence. Mm-hmm. Right? Must not quarrel, but must be gentle to everyone, able to teach and patient, instructing his opponents with gentleness. And please go look up gentleness and look up patience. And able to teach, that means that someone who's able to teach has been taught, mm-hmm. Right? You just don't got a professor at a college just teaching. Like, he's been taught. So that means you're getting discipled.
Yeah.
Okay? Because a lot of people like talking about discipleship. Nobody really wants to be discipleship because, mm-hmm. You see the cute statements, which are true in some of them. Like the last one I've been seeing all over social media is like about accepting correction. Mm-hmm. If you can't accept correction, and it's real cute when you post it, but the question is, can you actually
have you done it?
Can you receive correction, or do you avoid it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes even in those relationships, people avoid you if you're actually giving them truth.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to hear it. They want to give it,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear, hey, I think you should slow down with that. Hey, I don't think. They don't want to hear it. It's just as hard for the person saying something than it is for the person listening, right?
Right.
It says, perhaps God will grant them repentance, leading them to the knowledge of the truth. What? Because of your patience, because you're not quarreling, because you're gentle, because you've been taught, so you're able to teach, and you're patient, and you're instructing your opponents. I love the way they put opponents.
Yeah.
It's to show you that somebody that doesn't think like you,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that doesn't think like you.
See,
Right?
also a lot of times people will just hang around the yes men.
People that think like them, yeah,
They'll
all day
ask,
long.
hey, they'll ask, Pastor Juan, Pastor Stephanie, everybody, until they get the one answer that they want, and
All
then
day
that's who
long.
they go to instead of the people that are like
Mm,
actually hearing from the Lord.
yeah, I
So
think
it's
like
funny that
when
it says opposes you, because I mean, if if everyone just agrees with everything you say all the time, I mean, it's kind of questionable,
all
right?
day long, all day long. And here's the thing. This Bible, the reason we went, hey, let's read this verse,
Mm-hmm.
is because our opinions really don't matter. You
Yeah.
can have an opinion and I have an opinion, and we're bumping heads. And let's say you're always quarreling.
Yeah.
Let's just say, not that you're quarreling, but let's say you're always fighting. As believers, before we take it to anybody else, we should be able to sit, and I should be able to say, hey, let's read this together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's read this together. And you say, okay, the Lord's servant is quarrel. Do you think that we quarrel a lot?
Yeah.
Yes. Why? Well, do you think that your attitude, right? At that point, like, you're not really fighting with the person. You're like, what attitude? You're not really fighting with the person.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually fighting with the verse.
Yeah.
Because my opinion really doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then let's say you go, hey, you're right. I'm always quarreling, right? Look how easy this can get handled. You say, you're right, I was quarreling. And let's say you don't know the verse here, but you hear it today, and you could go and you sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, yeah, but were you patient with me? And we both figure out where we went wrong and where we missed the mark, sinned, where
Yeah.
we missed the mark. And we just line up with what verse says, man, I'm sorry. Next time
Yeah.
I'm going to try to be more patient. You just frustrated me. Maybe I have some work I need to do. And this is what I really wanted to teach you. Do you mind if we sit down for the next few weeks and actually look over some verses and maybe just come into agreement with what God has to say rather than your opinion and my opinion? I just think the planet would be better. But we don't do that because we don't want to read. We don't want to read. We don't want to know what it says. We just want to watch a 30-second reel, and that's everything. It's my nutrition. My whole life changed.
Yeah.
Then may they come to their senses and escape the trap of the devil. So, wow. Your opponent is actually going to come to his senses. Man, I never thought about it that way. But like you said earlier, it's 3 weeks in Starbucks. Hey,
Yeah.
3 months. Hey, 3 years. This is the indicator. I told somebody, I was teaching a Zoom the other day of people all around the planet. And I go, look, your indicator of, because you go, oh, how much longer? Okay. At the level that you're saying with your mouth that it bothers you is at the level that you should be willing to sit.
Yeah.
So if it really bothers you, then sit for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. Why? Because it bothers you like that. If not, let it roll.
Yeah.
If it doesn't,
The reason you keep encountering it is because it's still bothering you.
yeah. But you with me? Like if you're gonna shake your fist at something and go, I hate that. Okay, cool. So my first question, because everybody likes to call themselves a servant, I'm like, okay. Are you the Lord's servant? Okay, great. Then don't quarrel. Be patient. Be able to teach. And until you get this right, how are you going to get that right? By doing it. And then they get to escape the trap of the devil. They come to their senses, who has taken them captive. How he took them captive? By their lies. That's a whole chapter in the book, right? By their lies. Like, you're not held captive by anything else. He came to set the captives free. He didn't go to the jail cell and open it.
Yeah.
What holds you captive is at some point in your life, you believe the lie, which now you're in deception. Because you're in deception, it could be cultural, it could be ministry, religion, it could be all that. That's why I'm always talking about Pontius Pilate when Jesus asked him, who told you that?
Yeah.
So did you get that from yourself? Like, do you when you go, oh, salvation, it's because you heard 4 messages about it and now you're like, oh, salvation. No, do you sit there with the Lord and actually believe that? And then he sets him free. So it's crazy how I don't know if this whole talk of relations turned into like communicating and all that. I don't know what had happened, but
I mean, that's part of
I
it,
think I
right?
think it's all, yeah, it's all part of it.
It's all together.
Like
Yeah.
relationship series. We're like, yeah, man. So I just kind of want you to practice. You know, it says everyone who is of the truth listens to my voice. You know, Jesus said that, and then you know his sheep hear his voice and all that. It's important. It's important to sit, slow down, hear his voice, and then I think I had this question. What's that question?
Do you really believe that what you believe is really real?
It's like a tongue twister a little bit, right? Do you really believe that what you believe is really real?
Mm-hmm.
What's explain that, Stephanie?
Well, I think that's what you were speaking about this Sunday too. Of like, it doesn't matter who speaks it to you, right? It doesn't matter if it's God. If you don't actually believe it, then it'll never be real to you.
All day long. So we just read a verse to
Mm-hmm.
give you a little nudge. We just read a verse and talked about the Lord's servant must not quarrel.
Mm-hmm.
He must basically present his case
Mm-hmm.
with being gentle
Mm-hmm.
and patient,
Patient.
and the ability to teach.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you've spent some time in the text. You're actually living it out,
Yeah.
right? Because person that the people that give the best diet plans are the ones that follow a diet plan
Mm-hmm.
and actually say, "Oh, this works,"
Mm-hmm.
you know, or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So to say, "Hey, I believe in that text," means that your belief drives your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So if you believe in that text, it should move your behavior.
Mm-hmm. Your action should
If you're
follow
doing
the
the
words.
opposite, then you don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? You just don't. Like, why would you say you do? You saying it. You get what I'm saying? It's like the Pharisees. They're like, yeah, we believe that God. And, and Jesus is always telling them, no, you don't. You don't have no truth in you.
Yeah.
And you're still talking lies. And you're actually doing the opposite of what you're saying you believe in. So how can you actually believe in that? That's his whole argument with every Pharisee,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like, you're saying you believe this, but your fruit is this.
Mm-hmm.
Your behavior is this. So the question that you asked, do you remember it?
Do you really believe what you say you believe?
Is really real.
Is really real.
Yeah. That question is the question I've been asking myself this
Mm-hmm.
year, right? I just asked myself, like, do I believe that?
Yep.
Then okay. Do you believe that? I'll give you one more before we put a bow on it. Do you believe that blessed are the peacemakers, for they are sons of God?
Mm-hmm.
Sons and daughters, right? Say sons and daughters, children of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you believe that, that means when something's going on,
You are that.
you are that. You are the one, like let's say you're married, y'all should be fighting for who's going to bring the peace.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you could be practicing it and say you believe it, and that means you're in motion of practicing it. You know, for those that know me in the office, I don't mind bringing everybody together and actually
Right.
saying, hey, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the ministry of reconciliation, so I'm just trying to bring things to Jesus.
Yeah.
So blessed are the peacemakers, for they're sons of God. That's actually how you know that you're a daughter or a son. I don't think we stop to think that. So if you don't do that, there's an issue in your salvation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because it says if you do that, you're a son. If you're led by a spirit, you're a son.
Mm-hmm.
So to bring peace in something complicated, you're being led to a truth, to the blessed are the peacemakers, to what he said. So therefore you believe and you're children.
Yep.
And if you're not doing that, which, you know, I think be quick to listen and slow to type would have been the text.
Yeah. Accurate.
That would have been the text today. Like, it would have been like, be quick to listen and slow to type, because we quick at typing.
Yeah. You think because the person's not in the room with you that you can do things that you wouldn't normally do, or say things or write things.
Yes, and it's for all of us. But is there a group, a remnant out there on the planet that the world can look and say, man, you know, that guy, that looks like Jesus, right? And it's okay if you strayed away a little. We all have our moments, but I think realigning yourself with what the scripture says is what's really going to bring you blessings and fruit that remains, right? Which is what we want. We want fruit that's just constantly growing out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just constantly growing, you know, effortless, you know. Once it's planted and trimmed and pruned, it's always going to keep producing, right?
Yeah.
Dope.
A life cycle. Absolutely.
You want to give a shout out?
Special shout out to man Ryan Tracy at Larry. Is this Gist unit? I want to say it's Gist.
I'm hoping.
Gist unit. I feel like that's what it was. So let me see.
What?
A couple questions here, topics for maybe next one. They want to understand salvation more. Next
Oh, maybe, yeah,
podcast.
that's a good one. I saw it. I was like, oh, here we go,
And
another
then
controversial topic. But
and
maybe
then
we need to be
another
talking about
shout
this
out
stuff.
is Lisa Trujillo in Plain State Jail. Thank you so much for writing
She said,
us.
thank you for your sermons, helping me a lot. On the Pandora app, I'm trying to reconnect with God. I fell off. Listen,
Amen.
yeah, stay connected. Stay connected.
She also pre-ordered the book. Come on. That's what's up.
Oh, shout out
Shout out
to
to Plain State Jail. Thank you
man, I want to
guys so
go
much.
there. Bother your chaplains. Everybody that's listening, I don't
Yeah.
care what state you're in, go to your chaplain. Tell them that to get with us. It doesn't matter where it's at. We want to go. We're going with Brian Trejo. Close to the end of August, I'm gonna hit like 1 or 2 prisons with them. I think McAllen, we're coming your way, and I forgot where else. But a follow up is that we want to get in there. So talk to your chaplains. Tell your chaplains to call us.
And thank you guys for writing us, for supporting, for subscribing if you're watching on YouTube. And special thanks. Oh yeah, get your prison break. Get your
flying book.
Get your copy. And then also special thanks to our partners, ISI. Thank you so much for making it possible. It's only because of them that you're able to watch and reach hundreds, thousands, millions. I don't even know the number. It's too scary now.
I need all y'all's help. I know sometimes y'all probably hear this. I need you to call all your family members, every single one you know. I don't know if some of y'all could even purchase the book from prison and all that, but I need you to purchase the book. I need you to buy. I need you to buy the book.
This one.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
I'm like looking at the TV. Wow. I need you to purchase the book, right? I need you to purchase the book. And then do the book the way it's designed.
Yes.
Right?
Don't
Get the
rush.
most out of it. Don't
Meditate,
go to the
be
secret place. Take me to that place, Lord. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I think that one popped in my head like a week ago, and I couldn't remember what it was.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have Mariana sing it.
Awesome.
Just to bring
Let's
it
do
back. But
Sounds good.
guys, thank you so much for being real ones. Thank you so much for partnering. All the partners out there, as she said, ISI. Thank you so much. Everybody else, if you want to be a partner, you can go to the website www.juanmartinez.tv. Just got a new website. I'm hoping some of the buttons weren't working, but they should be working now. Hoping, praying. I don't know, but go there, check it out, and we love you guys. Thank you for being real people. Thank you for tuning in for the real problems, and hopefully we'll give you real solutions.
Yeah.
Peace.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. Thank you. This is Real Family for joining us. You can be a part of the crew by following us on social media or writing us at P.O. Box 671-626, Houston, Texas 77267.
And don't forget, stay real.